Hello and welcome to Torqueback, GCN's very own Ask Us Anything show, where you can pretty much ask us anything. Much like Miller Moreno, in fact, who said, what can he do to sweat less? Well, unfortunately, Miller, you've not really asked the right guy. I don't tend to sweat very much at all. But one thing I would say is just avoid wearing pink t-shirts. At all costs. Right, anyway, moving swiftly on, Luis Serafin has asked this very interesting question about carbon fibre. He says, are 10-year-old carbon frames just as strong as when they were new? And the answer is technically yes, they are, which might not be the answer that many of you are expecting, because when carbon frames first came out, many people thought that they had a limited shelf life, much shorter than metallic frames. But apparently that's not the case at all. You could technically use a carbon fibre frame indefinitely as long as it wasn't damaged anyway, because carbon simply doesn't degrade, whereas metallic bikes actually have a fatigue life. But that damage issue is really key, which leads me on to my next question, which is from Eddie Grebel. He says, have any of you ever been hit by a car? Yeah. And is a bike worth salvaging after a big crash, particularly if it's a carbon fibre frame? So he said his forks have been destroyed, but the frame is okay. Now I would say the first thing is to always proceed with caution after a crash with your equipment, and particularly with carbon fibre, where sometimes the damage isn't necessarily as obvious, so you have to go over it very carefully. But this video here will tell you what to do in terms of looking over your bike after a crash, so it is well worth a watch. The first check should be to see if the wheels are still straight. So I just give them a quick spin, front and the back. Now if you've got a puncture, obviously that's clear straight away. If the wheels won't spin, it could be one of two things. I always firstly check the brake caliper, make sure it hasn't been knocked before I conclude that the wheel is bent. Next up, we've got this comment from George Calderon, who says, it looks like Lasty has quite a stealth wattage bazooka. And yes, Lasty does indeed have a wattage bazooka. In fact, seeing as there's no one here to stop me, I'm going to let you see a bit of secret footage. This is Lasty unleashing the fury at the foot of the Koppenberg in Flanders. Check it out. Whoa. Go, go, go. Sorry, mate. Well, now, that wasn't exactly the best lead out ever, but it was certainly a wattage bazooka. Now, next question, we've got this one from Richard Barker, who rides really regularly and quite a lot, but he's asking, he's been ill for a week. What should he do? Should he jump straight back into his normal riding routine, or should he take it easy for a bit? Well, the short answer is you should probably take it easy for a bit. Not necessarily the mileage, but you want to drop the intensity just to make sure that you're fully fit. But the other thing you can do is watch this video where we tell you exactly how to deal with riding during and after illness.
The common mistake to make is to wait a couple of weeks and train anyway, regardless of how you feel. It's easy to worry about the miles that you're perhaps missing out on and how much riding your mates are doing, but don't. Play the long game, see a doctor, and get to the bottom of the problem. Remember also that if you have any underlying health issues on top of being sick, these could affect recovery times.
Sticking with the training theme, here is a question from Fire Sheps, who's asked that if max heart rate is roughly 220 minus your age, is it bad if you go over 220 when sprinting or doing hard climbs? Well, I wouldn't say it's bad necessarily. Heart rate is very personal. Some people have naturally slower beating hearts, some people have faster beating hearts. So that 220 thing is just a guideline. If you're worried, then I'd say it's probably worth going to see your local doctor just to make sure there's nothing sinister going on, but I'm sure you're not. As I say, it's very personal. But it's interesting that we've had another question, very similar, from Michael Naylor, who said that in a long ride, his heart rate didn't go above 180 despite doing loads of threshold work and anaerobic work. Is that normal? And I would say, again, heart rate is personal, but it varies through things like fatigue or how much caffeine you've had. So a very good idea would actually be to watch this video where we explain exactly how you can train with heart rate accurately. So, take a look. Your heart rate generally shows the level of effort that you're putting in, but there are one or two exceptions to this, and one of them is lag. So your heart rate doesn't respond quite as quickly as your effort levels can. So for example, in a sprint, which is of course a maximum effort, it's also so short that your heart rate won't have time to change appropriately before you stop sprinting. And equally, for an anaerobic capacity effort, so like a 1 minute max interval on a short climb, It's also so hard, but so short, that your heart rate by the end of it might not even be as high as it would on a longer, less intense interval. Next up, Owen Morris has said, can Mark Cavendish wear his Madison Championships World Champs jersey even in road races? Unfortunately, you can't. You can only wear the jersey in the discipline that you've just won. So he can only wear it if he ever competes in a Madison, which probably isn't going to be all that much. But you can still hang it on your wall at home. That'll look cool. Okay, next up, we've got Christoph Grabenweger. I hope I've got your name right. Who said, when will you guys come and film something in Austria? Well, we have actually been, Christoph. We went to Salzburg last year to see the launch of the new Scott foil. And this video came out of there where we got to ride with Heinrich Hassler and he showed us how to do a lead out. Where do you want to be dropped off? Where do I swing off?
Oh, the best would be, 100, 150 metres to go. Anything like a 6, 7, 8 second sprint, anything longer. Depending on the speed, you're just risking getting swamped from behind. Oh, mate, that was messy. Oh, you need to pull your socks up, mate. No, but literally, pull them up.
Oh, right.
You're not going to be good at something, you may as well look good.
Next question we've got this quite deep and meaningful one from Expert06 Dingley, who might have the best name on all of YouTube, in fact. And he's asked, are you nervous about losing ideas for future videos or inspiration or motivation? And I suppose the answer is, we've all been riding bikes for so long, we absolutely love it, that no, we certainly don't think we're going to lose inspiration or motivation. And in terms of ideas, we've got a wealth of them, but we always love it when you guys tell us what you want to watch. So if you've got an idea, let us know in the comment section or via Facebook or Twitter or any other kind of social media. Right, final question now from Matt Williams. How do you find motivation in deep winter? Well, I tell you what, I'm quite glad to see the back of deep winter. It's certainly gone from here in the UK, but I do know your problem. So why not check out this video here? Last week, Matt did his impression of Roger Daltrey from The Who. This week, he's going to sing you out with his Morrissey impression, and very good it is too. Here is the top 10 ways to motivate yourself.
Punctured bicycle on a hillside desolate. Would nature make a man of me yet?
Set yourself small goals. There will be many times when training when you feel like you're going nowhere, like you've been at the same level for months. This can often happen when putting in base miles at the start of the season. If you want to feel like you're improving, try setting yourself just a small goal. For example, if you're doing a 20-minute threshold session at 36 kilometers an hour, spend the last 2 minutes pushing to 37. That 2-minute effort, if you accomplish it, symbolises progress.
Right, if you want your questions answered here, then simply write it in the comment section down below or let us know on Twitter or on Facebook using the hashtag #TalkBack. Now, if you want to see any more GCN videos before you go back to, I don't know, the real world or real life, then you could check out one just up there, which is the top 5 weird bits of tech from the Taipei Bike Show. Or if you click just down there, then Matt takes you through behind the scenes at Team Sky's aero testing with Geraint Thomas. Otherwise, before you go, do make sure you subscribe to GCN. It'll say subscribe somewhere on this screen. Just click on that and it'll do your job for you.